What if the speed of light was 30 miles an hour?
What if Earth had two suns?
Which cereal mascot would win in a fight?
What if everyone lived underground?
What if it
What
rained
if money
food?
grew on
What
trees?
if pigs could fly?
I don't know if that would actually happen.
It's much easier to store a unicycle than to store a horse.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Absurd Hypotheticals, the show we overthink dumb questions so you don't have to. I'm your host, Marcus Lehner, and I'm joined here today by Chris Yee and Ben Storms. Say hi, guys.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Guys, it is the end of the football year coming up.
I think it already happened when this airs. I think the Super Bowl was yesterday.
Oh.
Right? I think that's how he planned it.
Wow, it's crazy that hold on, let me make my pick here. It's crazy that
Just say all the teams and we'll edit in the correct one.
the Rams beat the Bengals like that.
Oh no, you have to do it for every combination because we'll need the edits.
Nope, he's committing to the Rams.
Oh God, I don't want to commit to the Bengals really. Wow, it's crazy. The Rams beat the Chiefs like that. I didn't expect that. He says multiple weeks before it happens.
How amazing would it be if our results are the same as the real results?
Well, most of them probably won't be because a lot of them already happened, and I can guarantee it's not going to go the same way.
You can't guarantee it. We're using a wheel.
Fair. All right. I can't technically guarantee it. I feel pretty strongly it's not going to go the same way.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, let's do our bit first, and then
We should explain what we're doing.
yeah, that's a better idea. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to answer the question: which football mascot would win the Super Bowl? And what we mean is you have the football team, instead of being the regular players, instead is a whole team of their mascot. So if their mascot is a bunch of Eagles, it's a football team of Eagles playing football. And we are going to determine which of these mascot teams would win in bracket fashion. So we have all the teams that were in the playoffs, championship.
Yes, in the playoffs. Yep, in the playoffs.
The World Series?
The World Series of football.
As will become apparent the further we go into this, I am the only one who actively watches football on this podcast.
Yeah, Ben's helping with the terminology. I know enough of the rules to get by. I don't know how much Chris knows. Probably about the
I
same.
know a good amount, I think. Yeah, probably the same as you. We did do an episode similar to this before with football teams, and it was a bracket, but they were fighting each other. It wasn't they were playing football.
Yeah, so really what we're going to do is basically we're going to have the two teams. We're going to talk. We each took a selection of teams to do a little research on their mascot. And so we're going to talk about who would theoretically win that football match, give them a chance to win against the other team, spin our wheel of final determination each time to kind of advance them through the bracket, and we will find out who wins the mascot Super Bowl if that happened and was a thing.
And we established that, like, if their thing is that they have a weapon, they can bring their weapon, but they can't use it to kill or injure someone else on the other team.
Exactly. So if they have an iconic tool or weapon that is related to what they are, like I'll say a pirate with a sword, they can use their sword. They just can't go around stabbing people because that would be against the rules anyway.
We're playing by Airbud rules, so there is no rule that says a dog cannot play football, but there is a rule that says the dog cannot bite someone,
Stab someone
very heavily, yeah, or stab them with a sword.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how we're handling it. I'm sure we'll come up to a couple interesting rules questions we'll discuss live, but yeah, beyond that, Ben is going to be helping us do this bracket because he was insistent that we use the seed rules of the football bracket. If you want to explain those quick.
Yeah, I'll 30 seconds. So the way that the NFL playoffs work, in each conference, there are 7 teams who make it, seeded 1 through 7 seeds, right? The 1 seed always gets a bye. They don't have to play in the first round. And every round, it's not like a clean bracket where someone advances down a predetermined path. The highest seed will always play the lowest remaining seed, and then the middle seeds will play each other at that point, if there's mid-seed still. So the 1 seed in our second round will always play the lowest remaining seed that's left. It's kind of the main takeaway from my 28-second rules explanation.
So instead of just doing it real simple like Ben has insisted because he says it's going to bother all the football people. So I'm going to take his word for it.
I'm pretty sure we did it the other way last time, but whatever. We're good.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this thing, so I can't imagine we've done it before. In any case, we got a lot of matchups to go through because we do have this whole bracket to finish up. So why don't we start in round 1 of the Chiefs versus the Steelers.
So who had the Chiefs?
I had the Chiefs. Wow, we really should have planned that part out better, didn't we? Huh? Oh well.
I know who I
figured
have.
one of you would have picked up the hanging
probably,
up there.
Whatever. You know what? We're doing it live, but not because it's recorded. Anyway, so the Kansas City Chiefs. This is one of the ones I am going to use their actual mascot, not their team name, because honestly, culturally appropriate team names can go to hell. So we're not going to go down that road. So instead, we're going to use the Kansas City Chiefs mascot, which is KC Wolf, who is a wolf in pants with googly eyes. That, as far as I can tell, actually do move, which is kind of terrifying for a mascot.
Like they Google, like normal googly eyes, or he has
Right.
control over them?
I don't, like, I definitely, okay, when I look at pictures of KC Wolf, I see his eyes in different positions. I admittedly could not find, in my not all that long looking for one, a video of KC Wolf. I don't know if they just freely Google, but I don't know. Regardless, his eyes are googly eyes. It's apparently part of the character. I don't know. Who knows? I'm going to go with actual wolves because I thought that'd be kind of fun. So if we had a team of wolves, they are faster than people, which is nice. That's good. Top speed of 30 to 35 miles per hour. I feel like tactically they're going to have some advantages. They are pack hunters. The big question I had to figure out was, can a wolf hold a ball in its mouth? To which I went to the only extra course I could think of, which was Air Bud 2 Golden Receiver. Which I never actually saw. So I didn't know if they pulled some BS where they had like a pouch the ball in and do for the dog or something. But the dog does actually carry the ball in its mouth. And a wolf is bigger than a golden retriever, so I'm going to say that still works with a wolf instead of a golden retriever.
So you can hold the ball.
He can hold the ball, and with their speed and pack tactics, they are a formidable football team. That's my line, and I'm sticking to it.
Could Air Bud pick up the basketball in the basketball one?
I think that Air Bud in the basketball one, like jumped and bonked the ball towards the hoop with his nose.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. I guess you do pick up the basketball, but you don't. You're supposed to dribble it.
He did dribble, but just like drool. Hey, anyway.
Anyway, okay, so Pittsburgh Steelers is the other team, and it's basically they're just like steel workers, but their mascot is a guy called Steely McBeam.
Steely McBeam?
Yeah, Steely McBeam. He's a big, burly steel worker with a hard hat, and he sometimes carries a steel beam with him. And he's basically just like a really strong guy, kind of like a similar build to just a normal football player, basically. So I kind of just said that his running speed was like the average athlete. I put it at like 20 miles per hour. And that's about it. He's a guy. He has a steel beam.
I mean, it seems pretty good.
It does seem pretty good. Like, big, burly iron workers, like, your average iron worker is probably decent at football, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the closest we have to like a control.
Yeah, probably. One big point against the Chiefs and their wolf form is that although the Wolves, I think, will be a very good running team, they will not be a very good passing team, because I don't think I can work out any way for a wolf to throw a football.
well, they can boop it with their nose, Ben, like they do basketball.
That is technically an option. That feels like a bad strategy.
So do you think if a wolf can't like bite or anything, can it stop just a person?
I think if you get two wolves on someone, yeah.
Okay.
Wolves, like, how heavy is a wolf? How heavy is a wolf? I guess like 80 pounds, I don't know. Adult wolf,
80 seems high.
up to 120 pounds.
What?
Okay, so
Shit,
two of
wolves
them
are bigger than I thought.
Two of them could definitely take down a guy.
Yeah, gray wolves average around 85. Larger species can get larger than that, but average around 85. So with their speed and natural pack hunting, I think that you can, double team a guy to get him down.
Yeah, also, even though I think holding is... Here's a question. Could they drag them down by clothes? Is holding a rule for the wolves as well?
Technically, you can drag someone down by their clothes. That is actually legal. Hi, I am going to wind up being the rules expert here.
Okay, so that's how they would take them down.
Yeah, it would probably take two wolves.
Yeah, I still think it would take two wolves.
I think it would take two wolves.
Yeah, it would take two wolves. They are decently coordinated, so it's going to alleviate that a little bit. I feel like the regular burly men are going to have an advantage on the wolves.
I think they are.
I think the wolves might have an advantage on offense just because they're faster.
That's a good point.
Yeah, the running game's pretty strong. It's so hard to grab a dog if you ever tried to grab a dog.
It really
Yeah.
is.
So does it mean just like Are the Steelers just making like regular old football plays at like a higher than average success rate, and the dogs just run it to a touchdown every time?
Actually, I think the defense will be, like, the entire game will be bad at defense. It'll just be a lot of scoring.
Well, here's the other thing. If they got steel beams, they could make steel beam walls to entrap the dogs running. Not necessarily hit the dog with the steel beam, but like, you know, put two of them together and like, ooh,
And
block
it's
them off.
use as a wedge and
It's like Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite the wolf into a box.
Yeah. I mean, we only have so many beams. I think it's one beam per person.
I think more than like building a wall, it's more just like using the beams to push away wolves, right? You can, even though they're faster, you can keep them at range with the beams, which seems relevant.
It gives me range.
I think the Steelers have an advantage overall between just being able to more consistently, like, you know, be humans and know, you know, all the things that come with that. And honestly, just the fact that they can actually throw the ball is very, very helpful.
Yeah, that is very helpful.
Yeah, so it feels like 65-35 to me, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
65-35. Okay. 65-35. Okay, I have the wheel ready. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can see it. Nobody else can see it because we're an audio medium, unless you're watching on YouTube, in which case you guys can see it too.
And you can see it.
Assuming that Chris has remembered to record the video.
I have hit the record button. We'll see if it actually works.
Cool.
It has in the past, so we should be good. But I'm going to spin it. Here we go.
Come on, Wolfie boys, keep the doggos in the game.
Oh,
Ooh,
no,
really close.
almost.
But the Steelers won. Big burly men move on.
Steelers advance. All right. Next one up here is going to be the Buffalo Bills versus the Patriots. I had the Buffalo Bills. Their mascot, very aptly named, Billy Buffalo. And I'm just going to be mad about semantics here for a bit because it it bothers. So their logo is actually a bison, and Billy Buffalo is not, in fact, a buffalo. He's an American bison. But he's still kind of also, like, you know, you can kind of ignore the semantics for a second because he's also still kind of a buffalo because it's been so ingrained that we call bison buffalo incorrectly that it's almost on the side of correct. Like, it's just used incorrectly so often it's almost accepted. But the reason the icon is a bison is not because it's the city of Buffalo and they just like, yep, Buffalo, Buffalo. The original name of the team back in the 1960s was the Buffalo Bison. Which just infuriates me.
Okay.
So they changed when this was like back then they were kind of combining and shifting leagues around. So when they're doing all that shifts, they switched it from the Buffalo Bison and decided to name their team the Buffalo Bills after William Frederick Buffalo Bill Cody. I actually didn't really know anything about like the legendary, you know, Buffalo Bill Westerner, but just a couple fun facts. This guy received the name Buffalo Bill after the American Civil War because he had a contract to supply the Kansas Pacific Railroad with bison meat, or buffalo meat, because they still were using the wrong term back then. This guy, William Frederick Cody, is purported to have killed 4,282 buffalo in 18 months. That is like 10 buffalo a day, just like every day by himself. So he actually earned his nickname because it was him and another hunter, Bill Comstock, were kind of working on this project together a little bit. They competed in an 8-hour buffalo shooting match over exclusive right to use the nickname, which Cody won by killing 68 animals to Comstock's 48. 68 buffalo in 8 hours. And then after that, apparently Buffalo Bill then went on to start a road show, Buffalo Bill's Wild West, where he went around the country doing, like, you know, rodeo style, you know, tricks and stuff and roping, which kind of made him more like popular, more household name. And then one last fun fact here was that he had done this. He actually like took his show on the road, went all the way to the England and Europe to kind of showcase it. And when he was in Italy, in Rome, apparently Italy also has a like cowboy equivalent stereotype, and they're the Italian. Oh, I don't know. Butteri. It's butter with an I at the end, so I'm gonna say Butteri.
Buttery.
Yeah, the buttery. And so a group of Buffalo Bills men challenged the Nine Buttery, led by Augusto Imperiale in Rome. Apparently the Buttery easily won the competition against Buffalo Bills men, but that did not diminish the reputation too much. But Augusto got a nice statue in near Rome for that. But moving it back to actually what we're talking about here, the mascot, Billy Buffalo. He is a bison. Facts about bison: they weigh up to 2,500 pounds. Their shoulder height, 6'6". They're about 12 feet long. They have been known to run at speeds of 40 to 45 miles an hour over a distance of 5 miles. So that would be the regular bison. That would be like a regular bison. Billy Buffalo himself is pretty similar, except Billy Buffalo, he's blue. He's colored blue, and he's bipedal. So he's 7'2", and his weight on the official site is noted as a literal ton. So 2,000 pounds. I think I should go for the more anthropomorphic, where it's more human-like mascot version, where it's bipedal buffalo, or bipedal bison. I'm already ruining. I'm just going to keep saying buffalo instead. I say buffalo, I mean bison. I'm just going to lean into the incorrectness. It bothers me, but I'm going to do it. So I've got basically big, burly, 7'2", 2,000 pound buffalo men that are also blue. Couldn't find any other, specific skills that buffalo have besides just being big, but they got them.
Fortunately, that is a relevant football skill, so...
Yeah, relevant football stat. So, Chris, do you have the Patriots?
Nope.
I have the Patriots. I have the New England Patriots. So New England Patriots are actually... I always sort of assumed they were named after, like, the Patriots were supposed to be like the Minutemen. It actually isn't. It's just generically the colonists from the original 13 colonies. They do have a mascot who is Pat Patriot, who's just a very, very weird-looking colonial tricorn hat, Revolutionary Soldier man. I decided to go with just generic colonists from the original 13 colonies. I thought that was more fun. It's probably worse odds in terms of football because Minutemen would probably be more equipped to play football than average colonial citizens in terms of working as a team and tactics and things like that. But I don't know. Seemed like a fun idea. I did find a census document because I knew that, in this selection of colonists, there would be some Minutemen. Apparently, the ratio of militia members to just the overall population was roughly 1 militiaman for each 5 1/3 people, which works out very well because an NFL team has 53 players. So we would have roughly 10 militiamen on our roster. In terms of the rest of the players, around 90% of colonists were farmers. So they're at least used to, doing manual labor type things. They'll have some amount of strength and whatnot. They'll probably be at least slightly malnourished, but you know what? We're just going to roll with that part. It'll be fine. And the fact they're going up against, bipedal bison doesn't really help their cause a whole lot, whether or not they're well nourished. So we'll just see how this goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the one thing the colonists and all those early travelers were pretty good at was killing bison.
That is a really good point. Unfortunately, killing opposing players is not in the rules of football.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the tactics they use to hunt the bison don't really apply on the football pitch.
Yeah, there aren't really any like large cliffs to run them off of, huh?
Yeah, man, I don't think there's much to debate here. I think it's just kind of like 95-5, like 90-10, like. The only way it works is if they can confuse the bison enough that like human tactics outweigh. How many of them would it take to tackle one bison?
If they're 2,000 pounds,
probably like the whole team.
I mean, yeah, like pretty much the whole team. Like assuming that people in the 18th century are smaller than now, which is true. Let's guess the average like weight of these people would be, I don't know, 150 pounds. So if you have 11 players there, your one bison's going to outweigh the entirety of the Patriots team on the field. That feels pretty definitive right there. I don't know.
I mean, one of my big concerns for the bison was going to be if they could hold the ball, but if you're going with bipedal, then that's not an issue anymore.
Yeah, they got hands. They do have hands, right? That's an important question.
Yeah, I mean, like Billy Buffalo is waving flags and stuff around. He's got. They're a little hoofy, but they are like, it's like, I think it's a split of 3 hoof. No, he's got just straight hands.
He has hands. Well, see, the key is that it's actually a real human being in that suit. Sorry to spoil the magic, but
yeah, I'm gonna say he's got they got clumsy hands. I'll settle that as canon right now. They got.
So the Patriots wouldn't be going for the tackle; they'd be going for the fumble then, probably.
Probably. But Billy Buffalo sounds like he's going to be probably at least 1.5 feet taller than all of them as well.
True, and way faster.
And yeah, probably faster. And as we discussed, roughly the weight of all of them. So,
but it's not 100%.
It feels a bit Monstars versus the Looney Tunes in that they're just better in all stats.
what are the odds that the colonists accidentally give him smallpox?
I don't think the smallpox will take effect fast enough for it to be relevant in the game.
Damn.
Maybe some of the farmers know some trick from raising buffalo. That trick. There's gonna be like if there's like a trick to calm or confuse bison, maybe there's a glimmer of hope there. But it's an underdog story for sure. I'm thinking like, do we go as far as 95.5?
5% can't before. That feels about right for the Patriots' chances here.
So 95.5?
95.5. Oh, that's a little wedge right there.
A little sliver.
1 in 20, it happens.
Could happen. And not even close. The opposite
side. That didn't happen. What do you know? All right.
Okay. The Bills move on.
The Bills advance.
All right. Our next matchup here is the Bengals versus the Raiders.
So I have the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, and their mascot is a Bengal tiger whose name is Who Day. And I looked up Bengal tigers. My team's basically just going to be made up of a bunch of Bengal tigers. And Bengal tigers weigh 575 pounds around there. And they can run up to 40 miles per hour. I'm pretty sure they would be able to hold a football in their mouth, so that's not an issue. And they're generally like solitary animals. They don't hunt in packs or anything. They usually hunt alone. And their hunting method is usually they like hide in tall grass and get up as close as they can, like sneaking. And then once they're like really close, then they pounce. Which I guess isn't really that. It doesn't like that method doesn't really help them in football, I guess.
Unless the field is really unkempt.
Yeah. So I do think they are fairly balanced in defense and offense. They're not really used to working in teams, but their hunting methods don't reflect football strategy, but they are fast and they weigh a lot.
Yeah, it's a bunch of tigers. That's gonna be pretty good.
It's a pile of tigers. That feels like just a good starting point for, most situations, honestly.
All right. So I had the Las Vegas Raiders. So while their logo does include a pirate-looking guy with an eye patch and like 2 swords and all that, their mascot is not actually a pirate. They didn't even actually have a mascot at all until 2013. So what did they do? There was a supposedly popular kids cartoon, because I hadn't heard of it, so I'm going to assume it wasn't as popular as they mentioned in the article. But it was called the NFL Rush Zone. That was a kids cartoon about aliens helping kids save the world from other aliens through some kind of football stuff. And the good aliens were actually just giant heads of NFL teams with no torsos. And so like the legs and the arms just came out of a giant head wearing like a team helmet. And that was like the good aliens were them.
That sounds like nightmare fuel.
It is very much nightmare fuel. I'll share a picture here in our chat in a second.
Oh, I found one. It's weird.
Yeah, so the Las Vegas Raiders have basically looked at this show, realized that it was popular with the kids, and they're like, "Oh, this is good. We want to reach more children." And instead of coming up with their own mascot, they decided to just lift their mascot directly from the show. So their mascot is the Raider Rusher, who is again a giant head with a helmet. This helmet happens to have like a big spike mohawk, but then it's got just like legs coming out where the neck would be, and the side, like where the hinge of the football helmet is where the arms come out.
I hate this.
I watched a little bit of, I skimmed through an episode of the show to see what the hell was happening. It did not enlighten me at all, but they appeared to be about 3 feet tall. They're kind of small. Like they're like half the height of these kids. So they're pretty short. They did have like a little bit of alien tech. Like he was in an energy prison, and he had like a fancy watch that made like an energy shield that he was able to get out with. I didn't see any specific powers in what I watched. The aliens came down to attack them at the football field, and the kids all transformed into like fighting robots, like Power Rangers suited up in football themed like attire. and the Raider rusher kind of just like milled around and got kidnapped by the aliens without too much resistance. So I didn't see any specific like powers or strengths, or even if they were like particularly good at football. So I was trying to look at that, and I got distracted because as I was skimming through, like, they do some weird stuff. Like, they introduced like an actual NFL player in cartoon form. In this episode, it was Chris Johnson. And then when they introduce him, it's like, wow, that's Chris Johnson. And then they cut to like live action footage of like them playing, like, it's just straight football footage, like a narrator, like it's a documentary about their achievements. And that's just cut in the middle of this kid's show for a bit. So he is literally like an embodiment of an NFL team as an alien. So I'm assuming there's some football skill there, not displayed. Small, 3 feet tall, well armored. He's got a big helmet. But I will throw in one last negative, is that based on the anatomy, I don't think the arms, they can't reach each other. I don't think the arms are long enough to go around the head and like connect. So I'm going to count that as a pretty big disadvantage there for the Raiders.
Oh, because his arms are coming out of where his ears would be.
Yeah. And there's like a big circle.
Okay. So he can't hold the football.
You can
hold the football one-handed.
Yeah.
With one hand, yeah, I guess. Not very secure.
Pretty tanky though. Like if they got maybe like I said, they got like a little bit of an energy shield. And they got a big helmet.
Sounds like the Bengals have a pretty big advantage.
Yeah.
I feel like your odds of head injuries are pretty high when you're also just basically a big head. And that is obviously an ongoing concern in the NFL.
Are you not allowed to hit the head? Are my guys in
Oh, wait, you actually aren't. But you also are not allowed to lead with the head of making a tackle, which is a problem for them.
So you can't tackle either.
So they can go at your legs and get you down, but you can't really do anything but kind of just like slap at people because your entire body is a head.
All right, I'm gonna errata that the head counts as the body, because otherwise they literally cannot
It's no tackle.
make contact with anybody
football.
without it being against the rules on both sides.
Yeah, I think Bengals, I mean, in terms of percentage, I think they have a big advantage over the Raiders.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. Like, again, I don't know how much football skill or if there's more tech and abilities I didn't see in the brief parts of the show I watched. There's like a small wild card there, but man, like 80-20 maybe? Like pretty high in
Yeah, I
favor
mean,
of the
even if
Tigers.
they have football skills, they're 3 feet tall and most of their body is head, not leg. So their stride isn't going to be very big.
What I would say as well is that with this combination of just large cats versus weird one hand carrying head things, there's going to be a lot of fumbles, and I feel like the cats are much better prepared to pick up a ball off the ground than the heads with weird short arms.
Yeah, you know what? It might just be a 95-5 again, because man, it's just, they're so dope. Like, there's no way that this creature can physically play a sport effectively.
Yeah.
Like, even just running, their center of mass is so bucked up.
Okay. 95-5.
Yeah, it's just 95-5.
Go for it. It's gonna happen, isn't it? We're gonna talk about this weird head thing again, aren't we?
I want one upset at least. Nope, not even close.
Not this one.
Yeah, no.
The Bengals move on.
All right, so that's oh no, we have one more.
That's it for round one
On the AFC
side.
I think we're gonna finish out the AFC and get the first of our Super Bowl contenders before we move on to the NFC.
Yes.
Just to make things go a little more smoothly.
So we have one new team because of the bye.
Yes. And that is the Tennessee Titans, who will be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tennessee Titans, they are called the Titans because, and this is apparently a real thing, I looked it up and everything, apparently Nashville is referred to as the Athens of the South. Now, I had never heard of that before literally this week, and I still don't entirely believe it, but they do have a Parthenon and everything apparently in Nashville, so...
I've never been to Nashville.
I haven't either.
I've been to Nashville. I didn't see a Parthenon. I'll say that. I saw lots of varied party buses, but I did not see
there is
Parthenon.
Apparently a Parthenon. So this is one of those ones where I had to deliberate a little bit on whether to use the team name versus the mascot. The team name, the Titans, were former gods basically in Greek mythology. They were the generation of gods before the Olympians. They were probably very big. It's unclear. It's never really specified. The number I found that wasn't really with any sort of back information was 20 to 30 feet tall, but they could also throw mountains, so it could be much larger.
They're very big in the Disney Hercules.
Yeah, Kronos ate his children, and that was 5 children and technically also 1 child-sized rock. So there's probably some sort of like Greek god-style size shifting or something. But if we're assuming they're 20 to 30 feet tall, although yes, they would probably be rather unstoppable on the football field, they also probably could not line up the required number of players on the line of scrimmage because they'd be too big.
They would lose by default.
Yeah, they would just lose by default. So I believe I'm forced to go with the mascot instead, which is a raccoon named T-Rack.
That is a bit of a downgrade.
I don't think it's great, but it's better than just losing by disqualification immediately. So we're going to roll with that instead.
Well, you know what they say, Nashville is the coon town of the South.
It sure is, apparently. I don't even know what to say to that. So yeah, it's apparently a team of raccoons instead, not giant god-fighting former gods. So, like you said, yes, a bit of a downgrade. We know what raccoons are. They're adorable, but not particularly good at football.
Do you have raccoon facts, or are you just going to say
Honestly,
they're
did not even bother. They have a disadvantage. They're roughly the size and shape of a football, and that says about all we need to. Can a raccoon even hold a football? Probably not.
No, they absolutely can. They're strong enough.
Okay, so a quick recap. The Steelers, big burly guy with a steel beam.
99-1.
Yeah, the one is if every player in the lineup for the Steelers is afraid of raccoons.
That's pretty
they all
much
have bad
it, yeah.
experiences. Because a raccoon will mess you up, but a raccoon will also not follow any of the rules. So only by excessive rule breaking.
I think my only raccoon fact is that once I was taking my trash out, and I went to the dumpster, put the trash in, put the lid of the dumpster down, and then realized there was the fattest raccoon I have ever seen in my life sitting on the other side of the dumpster lid, just staring directly at me.
That would be awesome if you open up that side of the lid.
It would not have been. I can tell you that. So, relevant to the if they're all afraid of raccoons thing, I said, oh shit, and jumped 6 feet backwards immediately. So, it could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen.
It could happen. This little sliver here could happen.
It's right there.
Okay, here goes the wheel.
Am I about to be 0 for 3 on my teams?
This will be amazing if it does.
Come on,
Nope.
No.
The Steelers
Yeah, weirdly,
move
the
on.
1 in 100 chance did not come through. The Steelers take the wheel.
I want one upset.
It'll happen. We'll get there eventually.
This one will be pretty. This one's coming up. I think is going to be a bit more even because we're back to 2 teams we talked about already: the Bills versus the Bengals. So, bunch of bipedal bison versus a bunch of just tigers.
So we still have a weight disadvantage, but definitely not as harsh as we had before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tigers take down like antelope. What's the appropriate deer-like animal that they take down in their habitat?
I mean, tigers are like in the jungle, right?
Apparently elephant calves. Yeah,
Okay,
deer,
so yes,
wild
they can
boar,
take
and
down.
elephant calves.
So they can probably take down a bison.
Especially if they're bipedal, because if they're bipedal, knocking them over is much easier.
That's true. They're much less stable.
Ooh, your decision to make them bipedal is backfiring.
Yeah, they're probably a little wobbly, huh?
Okay. And they're about the same speed, I think. You said that yours are like 40 miles per hour around?
Yeah, I mean, and that's not bipedal, so that's 4-legged trot. So they're going to be probably a little slower than that, actually.
Yeah, the Bengals are 40 miles per hour as well.
So we'll say the Bengals have the speed advantage, but not to an overwhelming amount.
The Bills can still throw the ball. They still have that option. It's not the best. It's not the most beautiful throw. I imagine their success rate won't be the highest.
I will say tigers are excellent leapers, and they could definitely get some interceptions.
That is true.
It's not quite the same as like the wolf situation where like they can't really like defend the pass particularly well either. I think that the Tigers will be quite good at that. So it's less of an advantage than it was for like the Steelers versus the Wolves or the Chiefs.
This is going to be a close percentage.
Yeah, I might go slightly towards Bengals, but just Bears. I guess it's 55-45 in one direction. I would lean.
Yeah,
Bengals.
I think that's fair. I think the speed and dexterity of the Bengals is going to put them a little bit over the Bills, just a little bit over the Bison.
Like how much? Like 55-45 or 60-40?
I'd say
I think it's
55-45.
55-45. I think it can go either way.
Slight in favor of Bengals, but definitely not by that much.
Okay. Here we go.
God, the fact that that icon is not a buffalo still drives me nuts.
All right, what do we got?
Ooh.
Oh,
Favorites keep
it
winning.
is the Bengal Tigers.
Bengals move on.
God, it's right in that zone of that 5% modification too.
Yeah.
It really
It's
is.
like right in that line where if it was shaped the other way, it would have gone to the Bison.
All right, so to go to the Super Bowl, Steelers versus Bengals.
Oh, these are both mine.
They are both yours. I feel like this is going to be relatively heavily. What is the argument for the Steelers? Because
They do have the reach with their steel beams, and they can
they
throw
do
the
have
ball.
the reach and they can throw the ball.
Yeah, so it's like the Tigers are just gonna jump it, man. I think it's just that was a weak half of the bracket because Steelers just
They're still just dudes.
Yeah, they
they're
are
still
just normal
dudes.
people.
Yeah, it's still just a team of dudes.
Like dudes versus Tigers. It's not even a strength versus speed thing because the Tigers weigh 500 pounds. Like,
Yeah, I don't think a person would be able to tackle a tiger.
yeah. So I feel like, I mean, I think it's not as one-sided as like, you know, Bengals versus weird Raider football head thing was, but
I mean, they would. The Steelers might be able to do like make a bunch of complete passes and win that way, maybe.
yeah. But I would put it at like 85-15, maybe 80-20 you could talk me into.
I was gonna say 90-10, so 85-15 seems about right for me.
Yeah.
85-15,
that.
I'm good with that.
Towards the Bengals. Is this the upset? Is it going to happen?
Is it gonna happen? Are we just gonna have normal people in the Super Bowl?
I mean, that's usually what we do most
That'd
years.
be amazing.
Nope.
Ah,
Nah, it's Tigers.
No,
Bengals
no,
move on.
it's the Tigers. Unsurprisingly, it's the Tigers. All right, so the first Super Bowl contender from the AFC, it's the Bengals. Let's hop over to the NFC side of the bracket here. First team matchup up here is the Buccaneers versus the Eagles.
Yeah, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I mean, they're pirates. We know what pirates do. You got the idea. They have a mascot. It's a pirate. His name is Captain Fear, which is very cool. He does look, I'm not going to lie, pretty derpy, but he is a pirate. He does have, in this case this comes up, he does have all of his limbs. No peg legs or hook hands for him. He almost looks cool. I just put a picture in our chat. He almost looks cool, but he winds up, his eyes are weird and soulless, and it's kind of strange.
He's got quite the unibrow.
He does have a unibrow. He also has like beads on his mustache. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on
they're
with
like
that.
braided or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a pirate. Like, what do you want me to say? Just pirate stuff.
Does he have any weapons, like a sword?
He does have a sword, but that's it.
Oh, and he has both of his eyes. Okay.
Yes, he also does have both of his eyes. They're terrifying.
Can you intercept with the sword? Like, if you see a pass coming, can you just poke it out of the air? I think that would be fine.
I
It'd be hard to intercept it, but he could swat it down.
yeah. You got a little more reach on
Yeah.
it.
Like, it wouldn't, I guess you can't stab it and say this is mine and laugh while the football is impaled at the end of your sword. But yeah, you could stop the pass. You could make the pass incomplete.
Okay. So, Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles, which are just eagles. They're bald eagles specifically. The mascot is a bald eagle named Swoop. He's just a big
Swoop?
bald eagle. And bald eagles weigh around 8 to 12 pounds, and they can carry up to 4 pounds. So they would be able to carry the football. A football weighs about 14 to 16 ounces. That's important. They can carry the football.
It's very relevant.
Yeah, and they can fly up to 40 miles per hour if they're just flapping normally. If they're holding a fish or something, or in this case a football, they can fly up to 30 miles per hour, and they have diving speeds of around 100 miles per hour. I don't know if that'll come up that much in this, but it might. You never know. They're actually surprisingly maneuverable compared to other types of eagles. Hunters have reported that they're just harder to hunt because they'll twist and turn and stuff, and it'll be harder to hunt them. And obviously they're birds, so I think their strategy would be to fly above everyone and avoid contact. So it's like a really good offense. There'd be terrible defense, though.
I'm going to have a question about the offensive situation, too, because the way a play starts in the NFL is the ball is lined up on the line of scrimmage and then snapped back to the quarterback. So my question for you is, how quickly can a bird from the ground take off while holding a football?
I do not have the answer to that question.
Very, very, very quickly, actually. I did look into that.
Wait, what?
For a reason that'll become apparent later. But yeah, no, they get off the ground, like they're kind of like spring loaded getting off the ground, and like when they can like just kind of swoop and grab, and like they don't have to land completely. Like the person behind, I guess the eagle in the back could like already be taking off while he like grabs it and kind of just is already like in flight.
Fair enough. All right.
So it's not an issue, apparently.
I mean, yeah. All right. So the way this goes down, then, I don't think that the Eagles can
Lose?
ever stop the Buccaneers on offense. Is there any way the Eagles?
If you go for a passing play, then they can. But if you just run the ball, they can't. I don't think they could try to maybe like swoop down and like grab the football, but chances are low they'll get it.
Are you allowed to grab the football out of somebody's hands?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
So I feel like it's just going to be a lot of scoring because the Eagles are just going to fly above you.
Yeah, like the one thing I'm just trying to figure out like what the odds are that someone can get like across the line of scrimmage and grab the eagle with the ball before it gets above, hand height, like when reaching. And it doesn't seem impossible because they can't block very well on the offensive line.
Yeah, you can just blow through the line.
Yeah. But I mean, all the Eagles have to do is just go a little bit higher, and then you can't reach them. So it's not like they have to block them for that long.
Right. It's just more like
if I was trying to catch an eagle, would I be able to do it? I don't think so.
Yeah. So the question is basically if they can get in the air, they score a touchdown. And they have 4 attempts to do this because they cannot punt.
That's true.
What are the odds that they can grab the eagle out of the air before it gets above their head 4 times in a row? Probably pretty unlikely.
But there is a chance there, I think.
There is a chance. So it's slightly weighted towards the Buccaneers?
I don't know. I think it's like I imagine the Eagles can provide some defense because even if they're not very weighty to tackle people to the ground, I mean, if an eagle dives at you, I might fumble the ball.
Yeah, they flutter their wings. It causes a lot of chaos.
Like, if you're just like 5 eagles like flapping around you, are you able to power through? I guess you could if you just...
probably could.
I mean, they have a pretty big wingspan, right? They could like cover up where the quarterback is, and you can't see exactly.
Well, you wouldn't do a throwing play. You could if you throw it, the Eagles could intercept theoretically.
The running back. Is that the position?
That is the position, yes.
So the running back would just take it each time.
See, I just don't see where the Eagles ever stop the Buccaneers. But I think it's one of those situations where it's just like who gets the ball more, right? Like it winds up being basically a coin flip. It's just whoever scores last wins.
How long can you go for one play? Like how long can one play last?
Technically until the end of the quarter, so 15 minutes.
So like an eagle could just grab it and hold it for 15 minutes in the air and then score the touchdown.
All right, so let's play this out. So the way this goes then is, when the Buccaneers get the ball, they could technically do the same. They could kind of do the same thing, actually, right? Like,
I mean, then the Eagles could like dive bomb you.
Yeah, fair. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for a Buccaneer to hold the ball for 15 minutes than it's going to be for the Eagle to hover for 15.
That's fair. All right.
If the diving does come into play, then they can dive 100 miles an hour. I think you'd be able to knock someone down with that.
That's also a good point.
Yeah, maybe. That might damage the bird. Yeah. More than the bird. It would be mutual destruction.
True, but you would down the player and end the
you only have to do once. If there's only going to be 4 plays in the game, you only have to flip the coin once to get the advantage.
Yeah.
All right, you've talked me into advantage, Eagles, I think.
It's still pretty close.
I did not expect to say that. I think it's still pretty close.
So how close are we saying?
Like 40-60?
Okay.
I did not expect to be saying that. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. Based on my logic, I think I'm like 100% Eagles that can't lose.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but here we go.
All right, let's see.
Ooh, it's an upset. It's the
we
first
got
upset.
our first
Got an
upset.
upset.
The
Buccaneers
move on.
Bunch of dudes taking down the Eagles.
All right. Next matchup. It's the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. So I had the Dallas Cowboys. And in this one, you basically get what you get. Their mascot is Rowdy, the cowboy. And I could find literally nothing that separated Rowdy from a normal, stereotypical cowboy. The only thing that I saw that he was known for is, like, he has, like, this... They like to do, like, this kid zone thing, and he's known for squirting kids and fans with water pistols. So it's a cowboy, but he's got water pistols. And, yeah, that's what we got. They don't have... I didn't see any, like, lasso or anything on him. Maybe I'm misremembering a little, but, yeah, all I got is the water pistols and, general skills of a cowboy. And there's just not much else to say. It's a team of cowboys.
So the San Francisco 49ers, they are named after the prospectors of the 1849 Gold Rush in California. They do have a mascot. It is unsurprisingly, a prospector named Sourdough Sam.
Because the miners are famous for their sourdough bread.
For baking.
Well, so it's Sam loves sourdough. That's apparently, as far as I can tell, basically the only thing that distinguishes him from a regular, prospector dude. Wears jeans, has overalls, loves sourdough. I don't know. He has a pick, like a mining pick, in terms of tools. That's about it. Nothing else all that exciting. Don't really know how useful a pick is in football.
You got a 1,000,001 chance. Like, they throw the pass and everyone can throw their pick at the ball.
I mean, technically, yes. So we'll go with that. But yeah, that's about it.
I think this is our first person-on-person matchup.
Is it actually? Wow, it is.
All right, so our Cowboys or prospectors going to be generally better football players. I'm going to say prospectors stronger, Cowboys more dexterous.
Here's the thing about prospectors, right? Is that the people who were going to prospect for gold were people who were not well off and didn't have much money. So they are probably generally pretty malnourished, which is maybe not ideal.
You're malnourished.
Making a good case for yourself.
These giant franchises definitely aren't going to feed their mascot.
They
team.
aren't. Except for sourdough. He does love sourdough.
Are the Cowboys allowed to use their lassos?
I don't think they have the lasso.
Oh, okay.
I think the water pistols might not be a non-zero advantage. Like, does he start the football play by just like squirting small amounts of water in the opponent's face? There's no rule about that in the book.
There has to be a rule about that in the book. I don't know specifically that, but that can't be allowed.
Well, normally they don't have water pistols.
Well, fair. All right. Touche. Yeah, I mean, that's an advantage.
They're quick on the draw. Cowboys are quick on the draw. I mean,
These are both pretty similar types of people. I would say that the Cowboys are slightly more athletic, probably.
Probably, yeah.
I want to give the 49ers 49%.
I love it. I was gonna say like 45-55, but doing 49% feels perfect. So
Okay.
we'll roll with it because it will be very evenly matched. We'll go with a 2% water pistol gap.
Okay, so this line here is slightly that way. Okay, spinning the wheel.
Come on. Cowboys, come on, Cowboys.
And the Cowboys move on.
All right. Final NFC matchup of the first round. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals.
So I had the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams mascot is a ram called Rampage. It's actually a pretty good name for a mascot compared to some of these other ones. And a ram is actually just a male sheep. So rams typically weigh up to 350 pounds, and they can run up to 20 miles per hour. They are known for their horns. They have big horns on their head. Rams specifically, not the female sheep, but the male sheeps, they ram into each other literally. They have like a dominance hierarchy thing, and they settle their hierarchy through fighting each other. So they are pretty much like naturally competitive, and they are used to like running into each other and I guess tackling, you could call it, each other using their horns. So obviously very good for football. I'm not sure if they can carry the football or not, but maybe they can. And that's all I have for Rams.
All right. So I had the Arizona Cardinals. So, as you might imagine, yes, their mascot is a cardinal, but not just any cardinal. Their cardinal is Big Red. So while actual cardinals are pretty dang tiny and useless, Big Red is, well, big. On their official website, Big Red is 6'4" tall and has a wingspan of 7 feet, which conveniently is about the wingspan of a bald eagle. So this is why I need some bald eagle facts, because if I want to infer some other statistics about what Big Red can do, I can just use eagle numbers because he's just a big bird. So effectively, the Big Red Cardinal team is almost exactly the same as the Eagle team, except they're red and they're Cardinals. I guess they're more weirdly proportioned because they're like close to twice as tall as an eagle, but still with the same wingspan. So I guess they're like longer and skinnier in that dimension.
I don't like much.
I don't like that either. Now that I've said it, I didn't think about it till just now, but I don't like it. One fun thing, it didn't impact anything we talk about the Eagles, but I did do a rules check on hurdling. So basically, a hurdle in football is when a ball carrier jumps over the top of a defender that is contacting the ground with only their feet. So I wanted to see if it was actually legal to just fly over people. So, interestingly, the NFL doesn't have a penalty for this. It's fine to just do. There's no penalty for an offensive player hurdling a defensive player. But basically, in all the lower leagues, like high school, some colleges, stuff like that, it is banned because it's kind of dangerous. So it'll be tough to, for them to get their high school football experience in. But in the NFL, it's all fair game.
Now, leading up to this episode, recording the episode, we left it to each other's discretion whether we wanted to use the real animal or the mascot. I feel like this is the case where obviously a normal Cardinal would lose.
Well, normal Cardinals would do little nothing. They could pick up the football. It would just be over. But the mascot is Big Red. The mascot is not just a random Cardinal.
Okay.
Chris seems dubious.
I mean, I'll allow it, I guess.
Chris is just upset because he specifically said his Rams are good at football, and now my Cardinals are going to beat him.
I was looking at pictures of Rams, and their horns are usually like curly, so I do think they would be able to fit a football in there. So that's probably how they would hold the football.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna dispute that. I'm gonna say the Cardinals could definitely snatch that out of there. It's gonna be easier to get it off a Ram than it's gonna be to get it off of a Buccaneer.
Now, if we're going with the mascot version of the Cardinal, can it fly?
Yeah, I mean, like you have to. Obviously, the dude in the mascot suit can't fly,
right?
But you kind of gotta assume that he's gonna have bird proportion. It would seem weirder to me to say he's a Cardinal that can't fly.
Okay.
Ben seems dubious.
I'm going to leave it up to Ben because I'm obviously biased on this. I think the Cardinals should lose this.
I'm going to say that they are going to have a harder time taking off quickly than a actually bird-proportioned bird of similar size. And that although they can, it is not as easy for them to do it as it is for the more traditionally proportioned eagles to do it.
Okay.
So yes, they can do the flying bullshit, but not as frequently or easily as the Eagles do, which I think puts it in favor of the Rams, personally.
Really?
Not overwhelmingly.
I mean, the Cardinals run into the same issue as the Eagles where they can't really defend. Like, they can't protect their running back.
But they can, like, the thing is the Rams are going to have to run it, and if it's just, like, resting or nestled in their horn, it's going to be a lot easier for the Cardinals to snatch that out.
How is the Cardinal flying if it's holding the football?
In its feet.
It has talons?
I mean, if you had a normal feet, you could still hold it between your feet. Is that allowed? Are talons allowed?
I'm Googling pictures of Cardinals.
Can you hold a football with your feet?
And now I'm Googling the picture of the Cardinal mascot.
No, it's going to give me all soccer stuff.
I mean, Cardinal mascot has normal feet, right? The Cardinal mascot is wearing shoes.
Oh, sorry. This is football related. In soccer, walking on your hands, holding the ball aloft with your feet is allowed.
Okay.
Good to know.
And in some parts of the world, is becoming quite common, according to, well, Quora.
Okay, I don't think that's true. Those do appear to be shoes.
If a receiver can catch the ball with their feet and it counts, provided the ball doesn't hit the ground at any point, according to a Reddit comment.
Yeah, as long as it is deemed they have control of it, yes. People have made catches with not just their hands before.
For a percentage, I'm going to defer to Ben. Neutral party.
I mean, I think I'm still going to say like 60-40 Rams. I just feel like without the sort of insta-score take off very quickly part, which I think that's what I'm disputing, is that they'll be able to take off as quickly as a normally proportioned bird. I think it's going to be easier for the Rams to reach them as the ball was snapped than it was with the Buccaneers versus the Eagles. I think that puts it in favor of the Rams.
Marcus, you okay with that?
Yeah.
You don't sound okay with that.
I'd be 70-30 in favor of the Cardinals, but
Yeah, I would not be okay with that.
it doesn't seem like I'm winning any votes here, so I'm just gonna count on getting an upset, and then I'm just gonna re-argue my case in a minute.
Okay, here goes the wheel. Cardinals better not win this.
Come
It's
on,
gonna
sweet
happen.
justice, sweet justice, sweet justice, sweet justice, sweet
No!
justice!
It's there!
Damn it.
Cardinals win.
Big red for the big win!
Yep, we're going to have this conversation again in a minute.
We're going to have this conversation once again. In fact, let's do it right now.
Right now.
Bringing a
Okay.
new team, the 1 seed, the Green Bay Packers, which I think was also Chris.
Yes, I had the Green Bay Packers. So the Green Bay Packers actually don't have a mascot, apparently, which I thought was interesting. I thought all teams had mascots, but apparently not. But their name is based on the Acme Packing Company and just the workers there, I guess. And they're basically just employees that pack meat into like boxes and stuff. So basically, normal person. In Wisconsin, the cheese head is also a thing. So like when you think of Green Bay Packers, people always wear the cheese hat things. So my football player for this is basically a person with a cheese hat, and he's holding a box of meat. He's not really like an athletic guy. He's just like a normal guy, not like athletic or unathletic, just normal. But I think the meat is important, especially when it comes to animals, because he can use the meat to distract the other team. And the cheese. I don't know what Cardinals eat.
It's just probably not
Probably
cheese.
not meat and cheese. You really got kind of unlucky there.
Are Cardinals herbivores?
I would imagine
They
so.
eat nuts and shit, berries. Most of what Cardinals eat is weed and sunflower seeds, grains and fruits.
Damn it.
All right. To Google, do birds eat cheese?
All right, so it feels like we're talking again like Eagles versus Buccaneers, very similar to Eagles versus Buccaneers, except the birds are worse and the people are worse at football.
Yes, birds do eat cheese. It doesn't hurt to give your pet bird a treat from time to time, and cheese is a great treat for birds.
Ooh.
Ooh, all right.
So I can use the cheese.
You
advantage
You
the
get
Packers.
you get 2 percentage points for having cheese.
If you go to a field that's full of birds and throw a block of cheddar in the middle of it, they're going to go wild for that shit. This feels like a surprisingly helpful bit of random team skill, I guess. I don't know. Is having cheese a skill? I don't know.
Is having cheese a skill? Oh, God, I hope so. I'm gonna be so good at it.
I personally am great at it.
So what do we do for Buccaneers Eagles?
I don't remember what our percentages were.
I think that was 55-45 Eagles.
So does this their cheese make it more even then?
Yeah, I would even maybe go to like 55-45 Packers.
Yeah, because I think the Cardinals are worse at. We've decided they're worse at flying, so that's a big part of it. So that's going to shift it it's going to shift to 10 points and then 2 more points for the cheese.
So 57-43.
57-43. See if the Cardinals can pull off another upset.
Okay. I'm going to be so mad if the Cardinals win the whole thing.
I honestly want to get to Cardinals Bengals.
Spinning the wheel. Good.
No!
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
Cardinals, Bengals.
Cardinals are out.
It was the cheese that made the difference. Oh, bummer. All right, well, what's next?
Next is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Pirates versus Cowboys. Wasn't there a movie about this?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, there's
I don't know.
aliens
There's
and
aliens versus Cowboys.
Cowboys. I mean, I think in general, pirates are just more violent, right?
Pirates are definitely more violent, yeah.
They're also more drunk.
That is true.
I think the skills Cowboys have, like lassoing,
They feel more coordinated than pirates.
wrangling, like the rodeo type skills are more helpful than the how do
The
I
looting.
steer a ship and loot type skills.
Now, I will say, pirates exhibit excellent teamwork. They crew a ship together.
Pirates work in a team. Cowboys don't.
Actually, no, Cowboys work.
They do.
When you're herding cattle, you're doing that as a group. So that's
true.
You know.
but pirates do have a bit more teamwork.
Yeah, they seem more like a team, like a football team.
Also, like you're gonna have some strong men you're definitely gonna have some good strong men on the Pirates. The Cowboys is not guaranteed. Like the Cowboys are fit, but they're not like buff generally. So it's definitely good. But it's definitely like I'm really imagining like good guys Cowboys versus bad guys Pirates, and I think that gives the bad guys an edge because usually the good guys have to be the underdog.
That is a good point. Otherwise, it's not satisfying when they win. So, how much of an underdog are they?
Honestly, I'm thinking like 60-40. I'm kind of more and more Pirates as I think about it.
I was thinking 60-40 too. Let's do 60-40 Pirates.
How convenient. Everyone agrees.
Everyone agrees. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Here we go. And the underdog wins. The good guys, win. It's like the movie.
Good guys win. Well, now we got two good guys because now we're in the semis here. We got the Packers with all their cheese versus the Cowboys.
I don't think it's gonna help against the Cowboys though. I think the Cowboys can resist cheese.
Yeah, now we got like regular people of the town with meat versus like generally pretty dexterous, athletic Cowboys.
I will say that the Cowboys, if they took their cows elsewhere as they're driving their cattle, could put the Packers out of a job. Just saying. I don't know how much that weighs in.
But the Cowboys, they got, well, are Cowboys honorable? I mean, they're the good guys so oftentimes, but they really like probably aren't that moral. Like, would the Cowboys blackmail the Packers with their business?
I mean, they could. You can't rule it out.
I mean, I think the Cowboys have a pretty big advantage here.
I think they do too.
Yeah, it feels like 75-25, if not more, just because it's going to be like two teams of adults, but one of them will be athletic and one of them won't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with 75-25 or further towards the Cowboys.
Yeah, 80-20?
80-20.
I'll do 80-20 because the Cowboys can resist a little snack on the sidelines. They'll wait until after the game.
Exactly.
Okay, here we go. Spinning the wheel.
Oh man, I kind of want the Packers to win. All of a sudden.
Nope.
The Cowboys won.
No, it's the Cowboys.
Too bad.
The Packers probably would have had more chance against the Tigers than the Cowboys did.
They probably would actually. That's a really good point.
That meat would have come in more clutch.
All right, so here's the question. Can Cowboys beat Tigers?
Super Bowl time. It's the Bengals and the Cowboys. Just like the real Super Bowl.
Not actually possible. The Cowboys have already been eliminated. But you know what? Doesn't matter. It's possible here. All right. How can the Cowboys win?
Cowboys win with their wrangling skills. They got water pistols. Cats don't like
Cats
water.
Don't like water. That is true. Wait,
I think tigers are okay with water.
Tigers, I think, are fine with water.
Hey, get the spraying. My cat will like sprint out of the room when I grab a spray bottle.
While most cats despise water, tigers love taking baths to help keep themselves cool during the hottest parts of the day.
Does a spray bottle work on a tiger?
Are you
I was just
actually
Googling the
that?
same thing.
Tigers live like in rainforests, right? Or jungles where it rains.
Yeah, I feel like this isn't going to really work out the way you want it to, Marcus.
I can shop for spray bottles at Tiger Island Hardware.
Sounds like we got nothing for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Like how big? All I can think of is like, what is it? They do like calf wrestling in rodeos, right? How big is a calf? Oh, it's steer wrestling, actually. Hold on.
I mean, again, they do have the advantage because they can throw the ball. That gives them an advantage.
Like, I'm just imagining, like, a rodeo arena where, like, there's just, like, a bunch of tigers running around and a bunch of cowboys just, like, leading them on, distracting them, and, like, creating lots of chaos.
The steers used today in steer wrestling are Corriente cattle or longhorns, which weigh between 450 and 650 pounds. So that is in our tiger size, area.
So a cowboy could wrangle a tiger.
If it can catch it.
If it can catch it. You see, you gotta catch it by the toe, make it holler, let it go.
Here's the issue I see. I think the Cowboys could definitely stop the Tigers from just getting a touchdown every time. Like, they could definitely set up some teamwork and use their experience to kind of, like, trap and tackle the Tiger. But is it going to happen before they get a first down?
Maybe sometimes.
I mean, it's easier to predict because, like, the Tiger has to go for the running play.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, right? Is that you can kind of load the box against the run. It's not impossible. I think it's probably unlikely just because of the size difference, right? Like,
yeah,
like you'd have to herd cats is what you'd have to do.
Yeah, which I understand is
famously
hard.
easy to do.
Okay, let's come up with a percentage.
I guess the question for the Cowboys, I feel like throwing the ball was not a good idea just because of the leaping of the Tigers, right? Like, so you don't even really have that advantage either.
I feel like you have a better chance if you do go for passing plays though than running plays.
Yeah, no, I think you're better off passing.
That's probably true.
You know, what do they have? The two-legged animals have an advantage over four-legged animals over short distances.
Fair.
I see a world where the Cowboys can kind of pull it off, like where it's just like they just outsmart the Cats.
There is a thing where the Tigers can't punt the ball as well.
That is true.
Well, there's a thing where they can just get a 2-point conversion as well instead of punting.
Yeah, but punting is pretty important, right?
It is in games where there's more like.
That's not punting, Marcus. That's kicking. It's different. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, I see.
You're thinking of field goals.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of field goals. Apologies.
But it'll always be an onside kick, right? Basically.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, I think there's enough small helpful things the Cowboys had. They can get to at least like a 65-35 split.
I like 65-35. It leaves a little tension in our little spin here too.
Yeah. Okay.
God, it's gonna be very upsetting to me if the mascot that wins is the one that has literally the least interesting things about it.
I mean, being a Tiger is pretty interesting.
All right, give it a spin. Here we go. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? The mascot Super Bowl final spin.
Super Bowl final spin.
Round and round it goes. Where it lands, nobody knows.
Pretty definitively the Bengals.
It was the Tigers.
Bengal Tigers taking it away.
Unexpected.
It's still possible that they win the actual Super Bowl, right?
It actually is. And that was my original call when I was just pulling things out of,
I think so.
Did I say Bengals over Rams or did I say Rams over Bengals? I don't remember. Who knows?
I don't remember. You said one of them.
Well, too bad the Rams got knocked out by those swanky Cardinals.
Yeah.
All right, that does it. That's the Super Bowl results. That'll let us switch over to our Would You Rather question of the day. Ben, are you ready?
Yes.
Would you rather play a highly competitive game of Red Rover or musical chairs?
Oh, God.
Is Red Rover the one where you run through the arms?
Yeah, through the linked arms.
Yeah, Red Rover sends somebody over. So for I guess for those who don't know, Red Rover is a game where you'll be out in the playground, you'll form two lines of people who will be like locking arms, and your goal is to sprint through the wall of arms. And if you break that line, you go back, and if you don't, you get absorbed by the line. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, you join the other line.
And then musical chairs is a game where there's a bunch of empty chairs, one less chair than people. When the music stops, everyone grabs a chair, and one person is left out.
So if it's highly competitive, what are the stakes of this game? Is there like a punishment if you lose?
No punishment or stakes, but you have to play, and like you're playing with like just the most competitive people.
So here's the thing about musical chairs versus Red Rover. In musical chairs, you're guaranteed to have conflict every time because you're always going to be fighting someone for a chair. I guess technically not. You could wind up in a situation where like you're just riding on a chair when the music stops or whatever. Technically, you only will be involved in Red Rover like some small portion of the games, right? Because it's only really matters for you if they come at your arms or if they call on you to come over. Now, here's the problem, though. If they determine that you're the weak link, you're just going to keep getting targeted. And if they're all very competitive, they're probably going to do that. And that doesn't seem very good.
Yeah, and then you're also going to have to like deal with these people like, you know, Vikings screaming across the field as they sprint at you like very aggressively.
Yeah. Like, people are going to get injured. There are going to be injuries.
People are going to get injured in both of these?
Yeah, I was going to say that for musical chairs, you were saying that every time there will be confrontation, but I feel like every round of musical chairs, it's only two people that really fight it out, where like
I guess that's
the other
true.
people is pretty easily to find a seat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'll say this, from the very few times I've played musical chairs in my adulthood, I think the odds of getting injured are higher in musical chairs than they are in Red Rover.
But at least when you get eliminated, like you can get eliminated in musical chairs at least. You're still in it in Red Rover.
That is true. You do have to play the whole time. And the worst case scenario of being picked out as the weak link is a driving factor.
It's really bad.
Well, do you think you're going to be the weak link?
Yes.
But I'm just like, have you ever seen like a musical chairs games where people start like kicking and moving the chairs too?
Yeah.
It becomes a shit show so fast.
So I've never actually played Red Rover before. I have played musical chairs.
I don't know if Red Rover would work in adulthood. I don't know what the grip strength versus running strength is for like an average adult, if it's going to even like, if it's just going to be deterministic that you'll always or never get through.
Yeah, I feel like adults are like too heavy, right? Like Red Rover kind of works because kids are light.
But at the same time, I kind of imagine it being close. Like if you know, Chris was running at me and you, Ben, and we were holding hands all nice, I feel like, yeah, we'd stay in a good but not guaranteed chance of stopping him.
I don't know. It's a lot of momentum.
Let's pretend it works, because if it's determined one or the other, the game never ends. So then you're stuck in that game forever and ever and ever, and that's way worse. Then you just die playing Red Rover. All right, we've been at this episode for a while, so let's make some gut decisions here. Chris.
All right, Mike.
Oh, Ben.
Yeah, Chris, go first.
Am I going first, or is Ben going first?
Ben, you're ready. Seem ready.
All right. I hated Red Rover even as a kid. And I wasn't huge on musical chairs, but I still feel like if I was forced to do one competitively, I would rather do musical chairs.
Chris?
Okay, so I've never played Red Rover, but I think the idea, like when playing musical chairs, I don't like the tension that builds up, like waiting for the song to end. Like, if you're playing Red Rover, you know exactly when the action is going to happen, and you can anticipate it. So I'm going to go with Red Rover.
I have similar opinions about musical chairs. Musical chairs stresses me out so very, very much the few times I played it, and I, not being a highly competitive person, find that situation a lot more stressful. Red Rover, yeah, it's gonna be a bit scary, but like I think I can handle that better than the musical chair. So I'm also gonna go with I'd rather do Red Rover. All right, and that'll basically do it for this episode. If you enjoyed the show, leave us a review. That helps us grow the show. It's a great way to help us out for free. And, you know, whenever I check out a podcast, I'm always checking out the reviews. So having some nice, good reviews for our show from our listeners is a great way for the show to grow and get bigger. And the bigger the show is, the more likely it is that we keep doing it forever. If you want to directly help the show, not for free, you can go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/absurdhypotheticals. Become a patron, and for a singular $1 per month, or more if you'd like, but for that singular $1, you get access to all our additional Patreon-exclusive content. We come out with a special episode every month exclusively for our Patreons, and you can go check that out there. If you neglect to do either of those things, I'm not mad, just disappointed. But you are still welcome to join us next week when we answer the following question. How would you improve tennis?